What's going on, Trax News? It's been a while. Haven't gave you an update. Things are pretty much the same, but let's try to see if we can figure out and get a dose of the truth. This woman has to say something right here. If a man has to pay you a bill to get your attention, you a hoe. Now, listen, it's a lot you could say to that. These aren't my words, these are hers. It rings true, in a way. You know, if you're really looking for love, if you're really looking for this, if you're really looking for that, you know, you should act a certain way and act accordingly. But when it comes to money, and when it comes to what people say, it's two different worlds apart, right? That's right. People love, oh, I love this, and I love the communities, and I love that, and I love here, and I love that. When it comes to money, it's the same shit. More for me, less for you. It's a little bit of truth from this girl right here. But let's take a look at the big stories and what's going on in the world right now. Jurors asked to review video evidence the second day, so they're deliberating on Kyle. You know, Kyle wanted to be a cowboy, right? He went out into the crowd, and then, you know, shit got hot, and he had a weapon, and he used it to defend himself. I personally am not worried about the looters that wanted to pull the gun away and do this and do that. Anybody who would have went there for any reason to do anything would have shot back and fired back. And then they want to, he was white, the people he shot were white. Somehow they want to make it about race because it's a lie, it's a fraud. They want to make it about something, they want to talk about something, they want to get emotional about something, they want to have some emotional catharsis over here, and they're doing it all sorts for a variety, all sorts of reasons. But when it comes to the money, nothing is being done. And that's what you're going to see back at Sebjitsu. In all reality, what do the streets look like nowadays, right? This is, I guess this would be something in South America, right? You're looking at a robbery. This guy's a fucking serious dude. He fucking pulled his gun out. But this wasn't the serious robber. This guy's a fool. He's running up with the helmet on and just wants a cell phone or something like that. He's not ready to fire that pistol. Other ones are. Let's find them. Let's see what we got here, right? Here's something. This is a real life situation. No opportunities, no nothing, just a gun. $800 or $1,000 on the street. Shots fired, and this is what the people are dealing with every day. Do you want that gun off the street or do you want it on the street? That's your choice, right? How are you going to get those guns off the street? Stop and frisk, something like that. Social pressures, economic pressures, and then you have horrifying people like this doing something like that. Can't walk alone anymore on the streets. Get dragged if you're a girl. People who abide by the law have no weapons to protect themselves, and people who don't abide by the law are menaces and aggressors, while politicians sit in the background, make laws, and pretend they care, and then you have to deal with the consequences, just like that woman walking down the street, just like these people in the shop right over here. All right, let's see what else we have. Oh, here's another good one. Shoplifting at an all-time high. People just loading up their cart, trying to walk out the door. Hey, listen, the police is defunded. They don't want to deal with it. So now we just want to drag this and drag out, and, you know, they're under social pressure. I mean, you could tell these people that they're pieces of shit. Look at her, she punched her in the face because she won't let her leave with a shopping cart full of shit. They're turning against each other. They were turned against each other, what they don't know. There's no... What are they going to do? What are people like that? Where are they going to get a job? Where are they going to get employment? How are they going to get money? There is no opportunity for them. They cannot compete in this society. The way you want to do it is like, it's like we're in a pond, and the edges are coming in closer and closer and closer, and the fish on the edge are fighting each other, trying to get into the center, and the ones in the center are living good. But the pressure is coming in from all sides, and the people on the edges don't have money, don't have wealth, and cannot live a decent life. And those pressures are only going to increase. There's violence beyond all measure over here if you want to see it for yourself. Right? There's a bunch of other stuff going on here. But the big pressure is going to be coming. When I was a kid, the environment was already abused and used, and humanity was already in the billions. But since that time, I've noticed a serious degradation in the quality of the air that we breathe, the quality of the food that we eat, right? The penny pinching on, less cereal in the box. The box is the same size, but there's less cereal in it. There's more fluff, there's more filler, there's more this, there's more that. And the end result is the world looks like this. Polar bears looking for something to eat in some places. There is pockets of normality somewhere left over, and then they could grow back out. But they're slowly dying, and you know the human race is struggling, having a hard time to fight back the tide of greed. All this is driven by greed. Oh, we could have had green energy a long time ago. We had billions and billions of dollars and decades that we could have saw this coming. But who's more powerful? Bill Nye the Science Guy, who's telling you, you know, hey, you know, I remember Bill Nye the Science Guy when I was a kid in the 90s. He had a car that had grass on it. There was no electric cars back then. He just had a whole grass car with grass growing on it because he knew what was on. He knew what was up. He knew what was going on. But who's going to listen to him? Who's going to do it? Is it going to be Bill Nye the Science Guy versus an oil tycoons? Oil tycoons could slip you millions of dollars, prostitutes, bribes, all sorts of bullshit, Birkin bags and garbage and shit like that for vanity and greed and jealousy and envy and short-sightedness. And that is resulting in a chart like this. Now, this chart is a little misleading, okay? Because the fact of the matter is this is only it's zoomed into a couple of degrees, but we're heating up. What that's going to result in is a more extraordinary social pressure. So what is it really going to look like is the question, right? The heat is going up, 1960s. Atmospheric CO2 parts per million. We went from 300 parts per million to 420 parts per million. I don't really know on the scale of how many parts per million what significance that has, but everyone is saying that that's going to cause some serious problems. The result is going to cause more extraordinary economic pressure. This generation cannot handle it. However, the good news is they're going to learn to handle it. They're going to go through suffering, they're going to go through misery, and some of the strong people are going to rise up and try to actually solve this problem as it gets completely out of control. But it could get very, very bad before it gets good. It could be 100 years of misery, it could be 200 years of misery. If you study history, there's centuries that go by that are absolute garbage, and then there's golden ages. We came out of a golden age, right? The 90s or before that, you know, they were with this technology that's hardly in this mouse from a computer. People were going to the moon in this country, or going to space, whatever you want to believe or not believe. Now we have private people doing that, but we have a generation that is really, really wicked and turning in on itself. It will not be able to handle these types of problems. That's that. Back to the news. Let's see what else is going on down the line. Party lines. Oh, of course, they printed another $1 trillion for Joe Biden that they don't have. They're just going to burn out the currency. That's going to be even a bigger catastrophe at the same time as decline. If the United States uses the dollar, again, how long is it going to transition into a proper currency? How big is the inflation going to happen? Now, when they printed $3 trillion, then they printed another $1 trillion now, that is going to, there is no actual money. People believe in a piece of paper, and they say, oh, we print more and now we have more. You don't have more. You have more claims on things that are out there. Production is not going to keep up. The people that have assets, they're going to have their claims and their value increased of everything they have. And the people that don't have assets, that don't have houses, that don't already... Here's a great example. If you have a car on a lease, you buy it out. Because if you leased it, especially pre-pandemic, because by the time all of this capital filters through, that car is going to be worth more. And it already is. Right? So if you have it, but if you're leasing a car in a year from now, then you're really shit out of luck. You're going to try to lease, and the guy that has a car, with all the dollars that were printed, is going to do fantastically well. And the guy that doesn't have the car is going to have to work extra hard and go through extra misery, and it's going to cause more crime, more pressure. And you're already seeing it, crime right through the roof. And combined with the bullshit left-wing liars that are manipulating this society, saying that they care about people, but they don't. When it comes to the money, they do nothing. They never did. That combination, combined with the economy, you got the left wing, capital printing, and a climate collapsing and nature, going through these extraordinary toxic changes. Combine those three things, and that's what the next 50 years look like to me. That's what's going on. All of this fluff bullshit, Kyle Rittenhouse, so on and so forth. Today, young Dolph died. So many people are getting shot for no fucking reason. But no, the riots in Kenosha. I get it. The kid was a cowboy. He came out there with a gun. People were burning shit down. Until it's your shit that's being burnt down, you don't want anybody's help, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? You don't want anybody's help right now. But then when it's your shit that's burning, when someone's burglarizing you, when you're being terrorized, oh, please help me, call the police, call the doctor, call the this, call the that. When your house is not on fire, fuck that fireman, they're all full of shit, this and that. Your house is on fire, oh. You can't think like that. You have to be consistent, you have to be fair, you have to be balanced on that end. But nobody is until it's too late. Climate is not a joke. Not much you can do. Just sit back and watch it happen. Fortify yourself. People that are living in the middle of the country and have a home and we're going to be able to either live on a farm or they live, locally sourced food and things like that, they'll be able to make it. They'll be able to you'll be fine. They won't even notice it in some cases. People who live in Miami or something like that where the water level is rising and the hurricanes are hitting harder and harder and you own property there, ain't going to be worth much if shit hits the fan. All these things are at play. That's really what's going on. It's the same thing. That's why you haven't seen me in a while. It's the same shit over and over. We got to watch it, and then when something new is in play, we'll see how it goes.